Welcome to the Explore Eagle podcast, the City of Eagles podcast with the same name as our app, Explore Eagle. Hi, I'm Mayor Jason Pierce. People often ask me, what does Eagle's motto, Life Done Right, mean? In each episode, we will talk with the city leaders, staff, business owners, and residents to explore the many ways Eagle is life done right. Today, we're going to be talking to Gem State Brewing at our podcast, so we're going to go in and take a tour before you get to watch the cool podcast. It's great to be here. We're here today with Chris and Kristl, the owners of Gem State Brewing, and we're going to check out what's going on here.
Chris, do you want to take him for a tour?
Absolutely, come on back. Here at Gem State Brewing, we have a 10-barrel brew house. What that means is we yield roughly 2,500 pints per batch. This is where everything starts. So how the production area is broken up, we have the hot side of the production, and then we have the cold side.
Okay, where are we at now?
So we're in the cold side of the production area. So after we've converted the sugars, done the brew day, got our wort transferred through the heat exchanger, we then transfer them into our fermenter. So here we have our draft system. So after fermentation, which takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks, we have our final product, beer in kegs, connected through our tap system, pouring fresh beer on the other side of the wall.
All right, so now we're getting to the part where everybody's been waiting for. We've gone through all how it's being done, and now we're going to see how it pours.
So this is our finished product. This is our Sunny Skies IPA, one of our flagships. After we had our 2-week fermentation period, we went ahead and kegged it. We put it through the draft lines, and now they're coming out clean, clear in our taps. Our Sunny Skies IPA is very citrus, very rich, very flavorful, very bright. Still comes in at 4.5%, so kind of an easy drinking beer that you can enjoy 1 or 2.
Yeah, you can really taste the different flavors in there. It's really good.
Thank you. Here at Gem State Brewing, our bar top is kind of unique. When we started this project, we purchased land roughly 5 years ago. There was a very large oak tree in the middle of the property. Unfortunately, we did have to remove that tree to build our brewery. What we're able to do is repurpose some of the wood slabs. So we had a local family up here in the foothills. They milled it for us. We sent it out to a kiln in Emmett. And my wife and I built the bar top. We urethaned it, and it's going to be a part of the brewery for as long as it lives here.
So you have a lot of indoor space, but there's also this great outdoor patio. So how's this going to work for you?
Absolutely. So one thing that was important to us was kind of have that indoor-outdoor feel. So we actually installed 2 very large garage roll-up doors. During the wintertime, we have these 11-foot tables that were also part of the tree, the wood slab that we used in our bar top. This allows the patrons to sit at the window, look outside, enjoy the nice winter's day. During the spring, summer, fall, we're going to be able to open up these doors, swing these tables out, and kind of have that indoor-outdoor feel where patrons can go inside, outside, enjoy the patio.
So obviously it's called Gem State Brewing, but what will you have for those that, don't drink or come with someone who does?
So we're going to have some wine and cider, but we'll also have non-alcoholic offerings. So we'll have some sodas, so the kids can come in addition to the non-alcoholic and wine and cider offerings, we will also have popcorn and chips. So if you're looking for a little something to nosh on while you're here, we'll have something to hold you over. In addition to that, we will also encourage folks to grab food from our surrounding restaurants. We've got a lot of really great offerings, so grab something from someone local.
What motivated you guys to start a business?
Well, so Kristl and I, we've traveled the world, and everywhere we've gone, we've generally kind of looked out for, or we've looked for a small pub in the town, wherever we've traveled to. And Kristl's family being here in Eagle, when we moved here several years ago, Eagle didn't have that pub environment that we were looking for. So we decided, hey, we want to bring Gem State Brewing to Eagle. We want to open up. We want to have a community space that people can come in and have a beer, relax, talk to their neighbors. And, we really just wanted to bring that environment to Eagle.
Very cool. There's a lot that goes into owning a brewery. It isn't just, hey, I'm going to open it up one day, right? It's not like food. Beer's a little different in how you do that. So where kind of did the experience from that come from?
Yeah. So I worked commercially for a brewery in Garden City for a couple of years. And when Kristl and I, we really sat down and decided that we wanted to be an Eagle, we discussed what's it going to take to get us there. And we looked around town. We found a wonderful site right in the heart of downtown, walking distance. We're going to have all that foot traffic, and we decided to start the process. We jumped feet first, went for it, and kind of have hit a couple of interesting speed bumps along the way. We're learning on the brewing side of it, the licensing, the ingredients, the manufacturing side. Really trying to source all of the local ingredients that we can, work with local vendors, local partners as much as we can. But we've got equipment in-house. We're kind of moving towards getting everything up and running, and yeah, it's been a journey for sure, but we're excited, and we're almost to the finish line to get up and running.
Excellent. So obviously tons of different types of beers. Is there a time frame that it takes to go through the process from start to end?
Yeah, every beer is a little bit different. The general answer is 2 to 3 weeks from brew day itself, where we extract all the sugars from the grains and we make our wort. We then transfer it into tanks, and the yeast takes over. And it takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks from brew day to keg, in the glass and at a patron enjoying cold beer.
So do you kind of do this now, like at home and stuff, to kind of test out all the different things you're going to be bringing to the table?
Yep, we have a pretty good pilot system at home. We've been dialing in our recipes. We're going to have 16 taps. We're going to run everything from light beers to big barrel-aged beers, sours, fruit beers, coffee beers. But we've been working pretty diligently the past couple months, last year, to really dial in recipes. And yeah, we're excited to share what we're putting together.
That's awesome. So kind of, what's it like being in business as husband and wife?
That's a good question. There are challenging moments, but I think we have a good way of working together. I think a lot of our days is laughter, whether it's something funny, something we can't believe. How do we work through something together is one of the big challenges. And we are very opinionated people. We're very stubborn, and we have generally a pretty good way of kind of working through and figuring out this time we're going to try it this way, and if this doesn't go how we want, then we'll change gears and try it another way. But it's been fun so far.
I think one of the cool things about it too is that whenever people partner in businesses, they could have different goals and stuff. You guys kind of are going to have the same goal, right? It's
Yes.
your future, it's your business, and so
Yes.
you're going to have that. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of exciting to have that for you guys and kind of for the business as a whole. So it's kind of cool.
It is.
Are you going to do any kind of food at all over there, or is it going to be strictly the beer? And
We don't have a full prep kitchen per se, so we will do some small snacks and small bites. But we are going to be a production facility, big tap room up front. We do have planned an oversized parking space in the back for food trucks for big events. But for us, being part of the community, it's all about sharing with your neighbors. We have a lot of wonderful restaurants downtown, walking distance from us. And it's kind of unique that our business is positioned that way in the valley. There's a number of breweries that don't have the walking distance to local restaurants, and we're really going to promote. Go grab, pizza down at Smoky Mountain Pizza, grab some tacos at Spitfire, sandwich at Tasso, and bring it in to the establishment and have a beer.
oh, that's great. So you'll be able to bring in your own food.
Absolutely.
And stuff. Sure. That's
Yep.
great. What made you guys decide Eagle? What was the purpose for that?
So my family has been in Eagle since the early 1920s. My grandma's family farmed. My great-grandma, great-grandpa farmed in Eagle for quite a while, and the family's just been based here. And so when we started talking about opening the brewery, there really wasn't a question. We wanted to be here. This is somewhere that means something to us, and it matters. The sense of community, there's something special here. And whether or not you can put your finger on it, it's something that you don't see in other communities, whether it's driving down Floating Feather or walking down State Street. The sense of community, the atmosphere, the beauty, it's like nothing else. And so there was no question.
I could agree with you more. I think that's what so many people love about Eagle as a whole. So being a mom and pop business, you're going to start this adventure,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you guys are everything from the janitor to the CEO,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
And what I think is really cool too is you're living up above it. And
We are.
so it's kind of like, I mean, you're all encompassed in downtown. It is your life.
We are. I think since we bought the property 4 years ago, we've been out there shoveling sidewalks in the snow, blowing leaves off of, well, what will be our patio. Out in the gutters, raking stuff out. There's, from kind of the nitty gritty ground up, that's what we're here for. And we see it with the other businesses too. If you stand out on State Street in the mornings, you see, folks out there sweeping their sidewalks and blowing leaves off. And there's a sense of community and a sense of ownership and pride in these downtown businesses that it's incredible.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be the perfect owner for a downtown business in Eagle. That's awesome. This is great. So what kind of other, what kind of beers, how many do you plan on having? Different types from, a light beer to a stout to something a little heavier.
Yeah, so we're planning 16 taps. We are planning 12 to 14 of our own beers, and then we want to support local wineries, local cidery. We'll have some non-alcoholic offerings because, of course, not everybody wants to drink beer, and we understand that. But the beer itself, we're going to go, from a real light lager for, an easy drinking cold beer on a hot day, all the way up to big barrel-aged stouts. We tend to kind of lean towards dark beers, so we're going to be doing coffee beers. We're working with a couple local coffee vendors to dial in special beans for what we want to, get out of the beer. But yeah, we're going to run the full scale. A little bit of everything, something for everyone.
That's cool. So you have some diet soda when I show up?
We will have some diet soda.
I just want to make sure.
Absolutely.
One thing that we've always appreciated when we've gone to other breweries is kind of a seasonality, changing flavors, fresh fruits, quality ingredients, and that's something that we're going to pursue. When we can source things from local farms, local growers, that's one of those things that is exciting to us. And then constantly changing flavors. We are, in a sense, we're creatures of habit, but at the same time, if there's something new on a menu that just really, tickles your fancy, those are the kinds of things that draw us.
You start a new thing, farm to mug.
Yes,
right?
there you
Yeah.
go.
Instead of farm to table, right?
Yes.
I love that. The local stuff is so important,
Yes.
right? Supporting our local businesses as a whole,
Yeah.
right, in the valley.
And we've got such a great community around that there's no shortage of these quality ingredients. It's
Right.
just a matter of finding them, sourcing them, and having a great offering.
And having that imagination to come up with the next great beer, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's, I
that's the
think,
fun.
that is kind of the cool thing about it. I really like hearing about these businesses where people have passion about stuff, and then, you go and you make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the tough part, right? That's the
Yeah.
scary part.
Yes.
Is all the stuff that
Yes.
goes into
Everything
to
else.
doing
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
if you don't take the leap, you never know.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So obviously opening up a business is not the easiest thing. What kind of have you guys noticed? What's it like to start from beginning to where you are now?
Yeah, so when we decided to purchase the land and start our concept of what the building's going to be, we knew there was going to be huge challenges ahead of us. A lot of breweries typically get started in an industrial area, kind of outside of the downtown. They lease a space and they get started. We decided to build our own building, and what that meant was finding the right property, going through the city approval processes, finding the architect, finding general contractor, all of that. Working with the city has been fantastic. We got wonderful guidance from the beginning, what's allowed, what's not allowed, we wanted to make sure we weren't asking for huge variances where we're gonna have problems down the road with what the building looks like, with how we're operating. We chose the location because it is an allowed use in the downtown area. We really did our homework on where we wanted to be. Renewal agency has been wonderful in providing support. The city answered every question that we needed when we had any problems, anything that came up. The biggest advice I'd say, if we're building our own building as a new business, really try to find a general contractor who believes in what you're doing, because that's going to make the process a little bit easier in those day-to-day hiccups that come up. Because construction is a crazy time right now, and there's some difficulties in building a new project, and you really just want somebody who believes in what you're doing, and that's going to help you along.
Yeah, it's kind of been an interesting time.
Yeah.
You guys chose to build in a time when
Yes.
materials
Yes.
are hard to get, materials have doubled and tripled, labor's doubled
Yeah.
and tripled, and
Yes.
so having those things along along the way. It cannot be easy all the time.
Yeah. I think one thing that's been important to us is to remember at the end of the day, we're working together. We're working toward the same goal. And if that means that sometimes you have to take kind of a step back and say, okay, tonight we're not talking about this, and we're just changing gears, and we're living life outside of this for a moment to kind of give ourselves a chance to breathe and kind of open up our eyes to not quite being so pigeonholed into what's going on in the moment, and keeping sight on the bigger picture. That's one thing that's been important for us, and there are times that that's challenging, but I think there are times that we're also very good at that. And whether it's, stepping away and just saying we need to get out of town and just go for a drive and change a venue, we've had our share of moments where it is very challenging. But we're in it together.
Yeah, there's no escape, right? A lot
No.
of other business partners and stuff, right? They get to leave and go to their family or whatever. And I have noticed on your, people can follow you on Facebook and other things. There's a lot of times you're up in the mountains with one of your latest brews.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just making sure they're good.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Taste testing.
Yeah, that is one thing that we absolutely love about Idaho, about Eagle, is the beauty that's around us. And sometimes we just need to be able to unplug for a minute, go out, whether it's down onto the greenbelt or up into the mountains. Sometimes we just need to get away and really take a moment to appreciate what's around us.
Our motto in Eagle is a life done right. So what does that kind of mean to you guys?
Life done right, I think, for us, especially with Eagle in context, is community. It's having somewhere that feels like home, that you have friends, neighbors, whether you know them and have known them for years, or if it's somebody that you've just become acquainted with, but it's feeling like you're in the right place. And that is life done right.
Well, I really appreciate you guys opening this up in Eagle. I appreciate all the time and effort you're putting into it. I know it's not easy, and I think our community is going to step up and support you guys, like they do with our businesses. So really appreciate you guys being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having
very
us.
much.
Thank you for joining us on our Explore Eagle podcast. I hope you will subscribe and listen to our Explore Eagle podcast so you can hear how Eagle is life done right. In the meantime, you can check out our website at cityofeagle.org or app Explore Eagle, available for free at the Apple App Store or Google Play.